This is section 3.9, modeling using variation. So we're going to talk about three types of variation today, and the first type is direct variation. So y equals k times x to the n. We say that as y varies directly as x, and k is called the constant of variation. So if a used car company offered Nicole a position in sales, and the position offers 16% commission on her sales, we want to write an equation to represent the amount of money Nicole would make in commission. So the amount she's going to make on commission varies directly with how much she sells. And so we can write this as y equals 0.16x. So her commission is equal to 16% of her sales. And that is direct variation. Another example, write the equation if y varies directly with the cube of x and y is 25 when x is 2, and then find y when x is 6. So y varies directly, so we have a k times the cube of x, so that means x cubed. Okay, we need to find the k because we know y is 25 when x equals 2. So k times 2 cubed. So 25 equals 8k. Divide by 8. So 25 over 8 is equal to k. So our equation is y equals 25/8 x cubed. So that's our equation. Now let's find y when x is equal to 6. That means we're just going to plug in 6 for x, so 25 over 8 times 6 cubed. So that's 25 over 8 times 216. And if you plug into a calculator, you get 675. The second type of variation is inverse variation. So direct variation was multiplying by x to the n. Inverse variation is dividing. So we say y varies inversely as x, and k is still our constant of variation. So a tourist plans to drive 100 miles. Find a formula for the time the trip will take as a function of the speed the tourist drives. So we have the DIRT formula from physical science, distance equals rate times time. And we want to find a formula for time, so I'm going to divide by r. So d over r equals t. Great. But now we know that our distance is 100 miles, so time is going to equal 100 over our rate. Write the equation if y varies inversely with the cube of x and y is 25 when x is 2. So inverse variation, y equals k over, since it's the cube of x, it's x cubed. Same thing, y is 25 when x is 2, so we need to figure out what k is. So 25 equals k over 8. Multiply both sides by 8, and we get 200 is equal to k. So our equation is y equals 200 over x cubed. Now let's find y when x is 6, so we're just going to plug in 6 for x. Y is equal to 200 over 6 cubed. So that's 200 over 216. It's going to reduce to be 25 over 27. And the last type of variation is joint variation. So it's a combination of direct and inverse variation. So we have multiplying and dividing going on. So a quantity x varies directly with the square of y and inversely with the cube root of x. So x equals, it varies directly with the square of y, so that's k times y squared. And inversely, so we divide by the cube root of x. Or sorry, that should be a z. Cube root of z. So same thing we were doing before, x equals 6 when y equals 2 and z equals 8. So let's find k. So we have 4k over 2, because the cube root of 8 is 2. So 6 equals 2k, divided by 2, 3 equals k. So our equation is x equals 3y squared over the cube root of z. Now, let's find x when y equals 1 and z equals 27. So x is going to equal, x is going to equal 3 times 1 squared over the cube root of 27. 3 times 1 squared is just 3. Cube root of 27 is 3, so x is going to equal 1.